everybody, it's Chainsaw Reacts. It's Saturday. You know what that means. Of course, we mean to here continuing the journey of Batman Brave and the Bold. This is Season 1, Episode 17. Of course, we'll not know the title until I get into the episode. Last week's episode was pretty fun. Huntress was finally introduced into this world. It was really cool to see that. My only real issue, and I talked about it at length in the review portion of last week's episode, was Huntress and Blue Beetle's dynamic in the episode, because Huntress, of course, has a thing for Bruce, and even in the opening before the intro, you had Black Canary, and she was being taken out to dinner by Batman after they stopped, not Gorilla Grodd, Solomon Grundy. I was like, why did Gorilla Grodd pop in my mind? That was a crazy first introduction to that character back during episode 2. But anyway, sidetracking here. It's the fact that they were sexualizing a little bit Huntress and everything, and Blue Beetle swooning over her in certain visuals and certain dialogue. I just felt like it was a little too much, especially for a show that's mainly towards families and younger kids, younger audience to watch, and to get introduced to new characters and see more Batman stories. So I don't know. I'm not sure why that happened, but overall, still had a good time with the episode. I did. Some of you guys were commenting saying, that this is a thing that does happen in the show, which I'm not aware of that, so who knows? But overall, still enjoyed it, and it was cool to see Huntress in the show and all that. And there was a mention of Batgirl, which I'm like, we're going to see Batgirl in this show? I don't know if we are, but maybe we will. Who knows? So, not sure what to expect from the show, as I always say, because you just never know. Because one episode, you get something like with Huntress and Blue Beetle teaming up with Batman, and then you had, what was it, Baby Face or whatever, Baby Dog, like that giant guy with the baby head or whatever. That whole dynamic and stuff. And then the episode prior to that, you had Edgar and the Demon and Sherlock Holmes and Watson, and Batman was taken back in time. So you just never know what to expect. So without further ado, guys, let's dive into this episode and see what they show us and see what happens. Let's go. Is that Wildcat? It is.
Call you away from your nightly workout, Wildcat.
567 push-ups to get back to. Go on, Junior. Give that a feel.
Give that a feel.
There.
You don't need me. You need a
what's
prize
going on?
water.
There's more to Bane than meets the eye. Wildcat.
Turn around. I did not expect Bane.
Ah, nuts.
Who would have thought we'd see Wildcat versus Bane? Oh! Bane looks good. Like the design. Smart. Oh, damn. Jesus. Nice. Good job. Maybe you should have moved. What?
Watch out, 21st
Booster Gold.
Heroes. It's
Booster.
Lights on.
You're really a hero from the future.
Yes, he is. Yeah, he totally made it.
You don't need a sidekick, you need name recognition. Maybe
This is
if
true.
you teamed up with an A-list hero, someone like Batman.
They don't want to sell your toys. I'm
Wait,
sorry.
You haven't even seen the Booster Mobile.
What? Who is this? Sorry,
I'm
it's not
too late.
clicking. Oh,
Nice takedown, buddy. Bet
Buddy.
that'll get us a front page mention.
Who are you?
The Brave and the Gold.
Here's the
featuring
pitch.
Booster and Bat.
Brave
The
and Gold.
ultimate team up.
I'd never team up with someone in this for the glory.
In this for the glory, I've been thinking an arch enemy would really raise my profile.
Then he gets Booster Gold breaks into the Batcave.
Trespassing. How did you track me here?
In the 25th century, the Batcave's a historical attraction.
I've been tracking missing quantities of plutonium.
You know, sir, it's that immortal caveman.
You know, sir.
Cruel the Eternal.
Uh-oh.
Excuse me.
Excuse me.
I need still more plutonium to bring this rock back to life.
Bending
Voice sounds
legitimate
familiar.
scientific-
Batman.
And Booster Gold, hero from the 25th century.
Booster Gold, are you gonna jump in or do anything?
Once I find the plutonic energy I need,
Is that Michael
I will
Dorn?
be unstoppable.
It's hero time, Skeets.
Now you're
Make sure
jumping
you get a
in?
photo.
Yeah, that's what you get. Jesus. Alright, there you go. Well, you know he's gonna get out of it, but can you imagine they actually killed Booster Gold here and just be like, done?
You I'm going to have stuffed and mounted in my
Stuffed? Oh my
Not in your
god.
lifetime.
Sequence
Oh,
initiated.
good job. Oh, you're lucky. Thank you. Good job. You did something right.
Skeets runs on a genuine 25th century plutonium battery.
Now he's gonna steal your robot.
We gotta save him, Bats. Skeets is my best bud.
You done
my
fucked
wingman.
up.
Maybe you've just never had anything worth fighting for until now.
Who are these people?
One that began all those generations
Wow.
ago when a magic
Okay.
rock fell from the sky. It bathed me in mysterious rays. I outlive whatever I conquer. My people always die out, leaving me alone.
We'll enlist the crime fighter's best ally, the element of surprise.
Ouch!
Sorry.
Now the moment of my greatest triumph is at hand. Cruel is brilliant.
Are you brilliant? You sure?
Skeets!
Dude, come on.
Just like the Aztec war.
The second time
There is no
you've been
quitting.
knocked out.
The guillotine.
Well,
Retro.
yeah, retro. Oh. They just stood there watching them escape. That didn't work out too well, did it? I don't know who these guys are. No explanation. I guess it doesn't matter, but I care. Okay. Okay. Now they're monsters, basically.
Yikes!
It's not gonna... Well, it's doing something, I guess. Yeah, careful. Damn. Again, let's fight again. You kind of deserve this because you're an ass. That sucks. Oh, bringing the skeleton down on him. Okay. I saw that coming, and I was like, maybe not.
Skeets! Dump your charge out!
But sir, I've been holding back.
Oh.
What happened?
At least they're fine now.
Am I gonna live forever?
You deluded creature.
You'll get life for this.
Yeah, life. Yeah, it means forever.
Your prison will be dust long before cruel the eternal is.
You were a hero because you ignored the glory and remembered what mattered most was...
Just a sec. Manny, call the toy company.
You remind me of somebody I met years and years ago.
No.
Just a sec. Second floor's almost clear.
And there you guys have it. Before we get into the episode, I do have the voice cast pulled up because I was freaking out inside my head trying to figure out who is talking as Skeets, the little robot, because I'm like, he sounds so damn familiar. And then I see the name, Billy West, the voice of Fry from Futurama. It was Fry. He was basically doing the Fry voice as Skeets. And I'm like, who is this? And why does he sound so familiar? There you go. As soon as I saw Billy West, I'm like, oh my God, Fry Futurama. Damn it. And I was right. Michael Dorn is cruel. Of course, Michael Dorn, Worf from Star Trek The Next Generation. He does a lot of voiceover stuff, but here Michael Dorn was awesome. He was also in X-Men 97 that I just saw a few days ago, episode 3 of season 2. That was great to see him in X-Men 97 for that episode. Maybe we'll see him again more, but anyways, beside the point. This episode, overall, it's a decent episode. I'm not going to lie to you. I didn't like it that much. It was overall fine. I was enjoying the action and everything and the ridiculousness of Booster Gold. And I'll tell you 2 reasons why I wasn't really a big fan of this episode. Even though I was still having fun with it, I was just kind of losing interest as it was going along. And the 2 big reasons are, number 1, Cruel, the Eternal or whatever. I'm not really familiar with the character, and I felt it was kind of a generic kind of villain, like a guy who lives forever. Because my first thought was a caveman who lives forever. I'm like, are we talking about Vandal Savage? I don't think it's Vandal Savage. He's not a caveman, but then again, he's been around for a long time. So are we doing a Vandal Savage episode? It wasn't Vandal Savage, but it's not because I was disappointed it wasn't Vandal Savage, just because the villain they were using reminded me a bit of Vandal Savage, but also it was just not really compelling. Even though Micah Dorn was doing a great job voicing the character, just didn't really feel like it was too compelling. The only aspect that I thought was interesting was the kind of flashback things to where he always ruled, but then everyone died out. Like his people kept dying out. Like, so he would just keep living on, and then he would have something to rule, but then they'll all be dead. So it didn't really matter ultimately because he doesn't have anybody to live with him. He just keeps living while they all die. So it was kind of a little moment. The second thing is, as you can kind of guess, is Booster Gold. That's the thing that I really didn't like about this episode either. I've never really been a fan of Booster Gold, and the more I see of his character, I tolerate it in any DC, project I'm watching or whatever, whether it's reacting or not. If he pops up, it's like, whatever. I go with it, roll with it, but I'm not really a fan. I just don't like the personality of Booster Gold. I just think the whole idea of this guy who is a hero, but all he cares about is fame and glory. And I know there's like a deeper thing to it to where he really does care about Skeets, and he was really upset, and he was like bound and determined to get his friend back. But ultimately, and as you saw in this episode, he could not really express it. He's like, well, how am I gonna make calls? Because my earbud, I have no bars. You got to make calls for me, my friend. We got to do all this. If I got to get deals. I got to get toy lines. I'm just not a fan of that. Just don't really like it. And I understand there's all different types of characters, and if we're talking specifically heroes, that are within Marvel and DC, and outside of that as well. There's just all different kinds of heroes, and they have different motives. But having Batman point out why he doesn't want to work with him at the beginning of the episode when they first met up, when he showed up, he's like, "Good job, buddy," and he's like, "Who are you?" Shows up at the Batcave and all this stuff, and he's just trying to whatever, because he's like, "Oh, you're from the future, maybe you can help, I don't know." And then at the end, he tries to have this moment of like, he was surprised as well that they actually worked together, and he was actually saying, "Look, you put aside all that bullshit." It's not, Batman's not saying this exactly, making my point. Batman's like, you put aside all this crap that I don't appreciate, and then immediately he answers a phone call. Answers a call about something that's going to help him and his image and be better and do better financially and just popularity. I'm just not a fan of that. I just don't like it. And I understand there's people out there who love Booster Gold and just find the character interesting, and they like the journey the character does go on. But see, this is a one-off episode. I don't know if we're going to see him again. I honestly hope we don't see him again because I just don't like the character. And I understand as we see characters introduced in the show and they return or whatever, there's arcs and there's character growth. So yeah, the character can grow. The character can change. But with being a one-off episode, we're just seeing the character basically starting at the same point where he ends. There's no growth for him. So it's kind of frustrating. So whatever. So ultimately, the episode was fine. Not hating it to where it's like it's terrible garbage or whatever. I'm definitely not in that mindset because there were still elements I enjoyed in terms of the action scenes with Batman, which was always great. I think the opening, like I said, the opening scene with him and Wildcat teaming up against Bane, which I should have mentioned earlier, but I wanted to get to the points of why I wasn't really a big fan of this episode. If the Wildcat Batman team up was the primary focus of the actual episode, like the actual episode, not just the kind of stinger at the beginning and then going after and finding Bane, that would be more interesting. Now I understand why they're kind of steering clearer and steering away from that a little bit, because if you've noticed with Batman Brave the Bold, and you've probably seen the show, it's probably why you're watching my reactions to it, but I've noticed this, and I'm assuming a lot of you have noticed it too as you've watched the show, because I know some people watch the show with me for the first time, like they're watching alongside, but there isn't a lot of focus on Batman villains per se. If there are, it's kind of few and far between. They're making a point to steer away from Batman villains and have other character villains be the focus, and then those other characters are in the mix, or even having a villain. Because I'm not really sure what Cruelty Internal, if that's a Booster Gold villain. Like, I don't even really know if it is, but like, they're going to pull a villain that you may not recognize, or a lesser known villain that may be a Batman villain, but maybe this character's villain, and that character will pop up, or somebody else close to that character may pop up, and then there's your adventure. They're trying to focus on lesser known characters, and that's why we got a Booster Gold focus episode, why we got Cruel the Eternal, right? That's why we're getting these certain things. But having the little stinger at the beginning with Wildcat and Bane was actually way more interesting. It really was. It was way more interesting and worth watching versus the Booster Gold bigger portion, the actual point of the episode. But I understand why they're not doing it, because it's a Batman show, but it's more than just a Batman show. It's a Batman show that's focusing on Diedrich Bader, not Baker, Diedrich Bader as Batman, but it's not really his story. It is, but it's really the other characters involved. Like last week's episode, we had Huntress and Blue Beetle. The focus wasn't really Batman per se, but it was Huntress her connection to Batman. Blue Beetle now in the presence of this woman who he's swooning over because he's starting to discover girls more, and also his idol Batman that he really looks up to, and that's been an ongoing thread since the very first episode of the show. So that dynamic, and that's what is making the show work, because you have the characters interacting with the Caped Crusader, with Batman. It's not necessarily a Batman-centric show. That's why you're not seeing Alfred. I don't think we've seen him in this show. Maybe we have. I don't remember. I'm tired. We've seen a lot of shit in the show. I've seen a lot of other shit surrounding the show because I don't remember. But seeing the Batcave is great, but it's not the focus of the overall thing. It's Batman and the other character. Like Solomon Grundy last episode was great, but Black Canary was the highlight of that portion. That's what they were really highlighting. Wasn't so much Solomon Grundy, which it was a little bit, seeing this version of Solomon Grundy, but it was more so about Black Canary. When we had the second part of the double-ish episode of the multiverse stuff being brought in, and Owlman, who was dressing up as Batman, like the first appearance Batman, you had Joker finally introduced in this universe. And Batman has to team up with him. It's not so much about Batman focus. It's about the Joker trying to do good and then ultimately succumbing to his true tendencies of being the villain, and then having a group of villains team up against a multiverse of Batman. So there's way more going on than just a traditional Batman-esque story. So with all that being said, I didn't hate the episode. I wish they would have just used another character, but I understand why, because Booster Gold, when you think about the pantheon of DC characters, Booster Gold's not up there. He's just not. So him getting the focus makes a lot of sense in terms of why he would be in a show like this. I just kind of wish he wasn't, but that's just me. So maybe you guys have different opinions, but in terms of like the things that I thought didn't work for me and things that I wish they would have done differently or changed. But overall, it was still a fine episode, and it is what it is. We'll move on, and hopefully the next one will be even better. So let me know your thoughts in the comments below. What you guys thought about my overall thoughts and the episode itself. Let me know your thoughts. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will talk to you guys soon. Peace out.